What's up, everybody? My name is Brad, and welcome to the book report for week 19, my weekly check-in where I come and hang out and tell you all the books I've been reading, what I'm currently reading, and what I'm planning to read next. This week, probably a shorter video. I did get some reading done, but I've been doing some other things as well. Watching TV, been watching Andor, which, oh God, I'm loving Andor Season 2, and I'm sad that the series finale is coming up on Tuesday, the final 3 episodes. Man, I wish it would go on longer. I'm loving it. I think the original plan was it to go like 5 seasons, but the creators and the actors said that would just take too many years to make. So we got 2 seasons, so I'm happy for the 2 seasons, but man, I really wish we got a whole 5 seasons because it's an amazing show. Some of the best writing and acting and just overall production value of any TV show I've watched in a long, long time. So been watching some Andor. Also, my voice might sound a little weird. I feel like I sound weird. I feel like I'm kind of losing my voice. So if I sound weird, I apologize for that. Nothing I can really do about that. But I've also been playing quite a bit of Fortnite recently. It's Star Wars season right now. So I've been diving into some Fortnite, been playing a lot of that. But like I said, I did get some reading done. So we'll talk about some books because that's what you're here for. Hopefully, anyway. So this book I started, what I'm currently reading. So I started this book just today. Only got the first chapter done, but did start it, and this is The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. This is his newest novel. Came out last month, I think, or so. But Kelly from Kelly Hooked on Books, she's hosting a read-along for this book on her Discord for this month. And only one chapter into it, like I said, but so far, so good. Stephen Graham Jones, for me, as an author, you have to slow down and take your time and read. Some authors, like Stephen King, for instance, I can kind of read through his stuff a bit faster. But for Stephen Graham Jones, I have to slow down and really digest his writing, or it kind of messes me up and I don't really understand what he's talking about. So I have to slow down for this one. But one chapter into it, I don't know if it's going to be our main character, but our kind of POV character so far. Her name is Etsy, and she has the journal of her great grandfather has been discovered. And she's kind of dissecting that and reading through the journal because at one point in his life, he just kind of disappeared and no one knows what happened to him. And so she's kind of going through his journal as this falls off the table and trying to decipher maybe what happened to him, and also read through his journal that was found. He wrote it in 1912. Her story's taking place in 2012. So it's a 100-year-old journal that she's going through. And it seems like he's going to be having these kind of sit down interviews with this Blackfeet Indian that's gonna be telling like of a massacre or something like that. So it kind of reminds me of Interview with a Vampire. Potentially, you're getting these journal entries where her great grandfather, who was a Lutheran preacher, has been sitting down with this Blackfeet Indian, kind of getting these different stories from him, like interview style. But like I said, so far so good. Really looking forward to diving into more of this one this coming week. But did start The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. And then what I spent majority of my week reading, I got about almost 300 pages into it. I started Holly by Stephen King, and got Stephen King poking out up there, my little Stephen King bookmark. This one, I'm going to say, started out okay. So there's like, it flips back and forth the timeline. So everything at the beginning of the book that was before 2020, I was really enjoying. There's the mystery of it, what's going on, what's happening as different people are being abducted, I think I can say without spoiling too much. And then us trying to find out why it is that they're being abducted, because we kind of know who it is. We're getting stuff from kind of their perspective, but why this is happening to these different people and what the motivations are behind that. But then we fast forward to current day with Holly Gibney, and it's like 2021, and there's a lot of political stuff that Stephen King has thrown in to the beginning of the book. COVID stuff, that's not too political, but more of the masking and anti-masking and vaxxing and anti-vaxxing. He throws all that kind of stuff in there. And then a bunch of MAGA and Trump stuff, which, I think I said this last week. I don't care about politics being injected into books, but for the beginning of this book anyway, I felt like he was just over and over and over, just kind of harping on it over and over, and it was pulling me out of the story. Again, I don't really care about the politics being in there. I know he's done that always. It's not like a new thing for him, but it felt like overboard at the beginning of the book. Now the point I'm in now is kind of that's taken a backseat and it's more into the story. But the beginning of the book, certain chapters did kind of, or not whole chapters, but certain parts of it did kind of pull me out of the story that he's writing. But overall, I'm actually really enjoying this. I really like Holly Gibney as a character. Just her whole story of how she came to be this kind of private detective through the Bill Hodges trilogy. So what are they? Mr. Mercedes, Finders Keepers, End of Watch, the trilogy of books. And then she was in the book The Outsider, and then she had a I guess it's a novella length piece in the story collection. If It Bleeds, I think hers is called the If It Bleeds one. And it does kind of, this book talks about all those different past stories she's been in. So if you haven't read any of those, there'll kind of be minor spoilers for the events of those other books. But once we got into kind of her investigation, trying to figure out what's going on, she's been hired. A girl has gone missing. The mom hires Holly to track down and kind of found out what's happened to her, because the police are kind of at a standstill, don't really have any new updates for her or anything. And I really like diving into Holly's mind and her ways of investigating, and then all the story threads coming together with what's happened in the past with these people disappearing, and then what's going on in the future, and then eventually, those timelines coming together. And then I'm assuming Holly's going to figure everything out and everything like that. But I'm reading it pretty fast. Like I said, I'm about 300 pages into it. It is a quick read. Just, again, the political stuff aside, I'm really enjoying it. But that did sort of pull me out of it at different points of the story at the beginning. About Holly by Stephen King. Enjoying this one so far for the most part. And looking forward to getting this one done. Because I believe at the end of this month, I think it's this month and not next month, his newest book, it's called Never Flinch, is coming out. And I don't think Holly Gibney's the main character, but I know she does play a kind of a larger role in that story. So I wanted to read this one and get it done so I can dive into his new book and be all caught up on the Holly Gibney saga, we'll call it, all her stories. So I didn't get anything from this one spoiled. Holly by Stephen King, I am enjoying that one for the most part. I feel like he's toned down on the politics stuff at this point in the book. So those are the physical books I'm currently reading. And then on audiobooks, still continuing on with The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien, narrated by Andy Serkis. I can't remember how far I'm into it. I think like about the 7-hour mark or so. And honestly, I don't remember what's going on in the book right now. Yeah, I do. I feel like I always spoil this stuff, but I feel like most people know what's going on in these books because the movies are so popular. But Aragorn and crew have gone to Rohan, and Gandalf is talking to the king of Rohan. His name escapes me right now, but he's being influenced by Wormtongue and stuff, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Breaking that influence of Wormtongue and Saruman, right? Saruman's the wizard. I always get Saruman and Sauron. Their names are so close together. He should have picked different names for his two bad guys. But that's kind of where I am now in Rohan, getting King. Oh, I'm not going to be able to remember his name. But you all know who I'm talking about. That's where I'm at right now. I'm enjoying it as always and looking forward to eventually getting into Return of the King. I think I'm going to wait on that audiobook. I went from Fellowship of the Ring right into Two Towers. There's another audiobook I think I want to check out. It's a Star Wars audiobook, which is kind of a prequel to Andor. Has a lot of stuff about Mon Mothma and Saw Gerrera and stuff in it. I think I want to check that one out. I can't remember what it's called. Top of my head, I think it's called The Reign of the Empire, maybe. And I think it's by Alexander Freed, who wrote a lot of the old EU canon books for Star Wars. I think he wrote like all the X-Wing books and things like that. I might be mistaken. I know he does a lot of the like movie adaptation books, I believe. Again, maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I think that might be the next audiobook I check out, and then I'll go back to Return of the King. But those are everything I'm currently reading and whatnot. I do want to show off this book. I got some book mail in the mail from Tor Books. A really cool book. I did put up a little short for it the other day, earlier in the week. But I was lucky enough to get an early finished copy of The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I'm super appreciative of Tor sending this along my way, because this book, I've never read Joe Abercrombie before, first off, I'll say that. But this book looks and sounds awesome. Sounds like it's going to be right up my alley, and I'm hoping to dive into it. I'll probably dive into this one once I get these two books done, Holly and Buffalo Hunter Hunter. This one will probably be my next book. But I've heard lots of people talk about Joe Abercrombie and all his fantasy books and stuff. I think he does grimdark, is kind of the genre he's in. But I want to take the dust jacket off real quick and show you all how awesome this book looks. So the cover itself has some really cool like foil, foil inlaid art on here, and it says, the worst monsters make the best allies. So that's a cool, awesome cover, and it's got the title on the side. The back is blank, but then the end pages have awesome art on here as well. There's like someone praying and like a werewolf looking character, and then on the back has some different artwork as well, like shadow looking character possibly, and priestess or something and whatnot. And then the book's broken up into different parts, part 1, 2, 3, so on. Oh, there's also a map inside. I'm a sucker for a book with maps. And I think I've read on the synopsis, this is based in like an alternate version of Europe, which I didn't notice the first time I looked at the map. You can definitely tell, this is Africa down here, and then, the United Kingdom and stuff, and going on into, Russia and whatnot. So that's cool. And then I was just talking about, it's broken up in different parts. So part 1, the worst princess ever. And then at the beginning of each part, there's also some additional art. So this looks really awesome. And what's the dust jacket say? It says, a brand new epic fantasy from New York Times bestselling author Joe Abercrombie, featuring a notorious band of anti-heroes on a delightfully bloody and raucous journey. And just quickly on the inside, it says, holy work sometimes requires unholy deeds. This book just straight up reminds me of, at least what I know about it so far, of like a Dungeons and Dragons adventure, which I'm a huge Dungeons and Dragons fan. And this sounds like kind of almost an anti-hero, kind of gray character party going on some kind of unholy quest or something like that. So I'm really excited to get into this one. Again, huge thanks to Tor for sending this along my way. Super appreciative of that. This is The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. It comes out on May 13th. So I think this coming Tuesday is when this is going to be hitting shelves. So again, super excited and appreciative of that one. But other than that, that is all I've got for you guys this week. Like I said, short week. I've been watching a lot of Andor and playing a lot of Star Wars Fortnite. But let me know down in the comments below what you all have been rating this week. And also, if you've been watching Andor, what you think about it, because I'm absolutely loving it. It's the best Star Wars thing since Empire Strikes Back. And if I'm being honest, probably the best, definitely the best written and acted Star Wars out of anything. But let me know, again, what you've been reading. Let me know what you've been watching. And if you play Fortnite, let me know that too. That's all I've got for you guys today. So appreciate you hanging out, spending your time with me today. Again, my name is Brad, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.